What's up, core reporters? Welcome back to my channel. Listen, we've got to talk about all of the screenshots that Catelynn Lowell posted to her Instagram the other day. Listen, it's been a stressful week for me, okay? So I've been a little bit out of the loop. Then I had a migraine like hell yesterday. So I did save all the screenshots as they were happening, and I really want to cover it with you. And I have to start off this video by saying that, like, it is just so heartbreaking, so devastating to witness the amount of pain that Caitlyn is going through publicly. Like, adoption is not easy at all, especially when you were a teen parent who only placed your child up for adoption because you thought that you would never make it out of poverty, make it out of your, abusive, toxic, rug-addled parents' house, right? And then, like, you somehow you end up on this show. You think it's just going to be a one-off documentary to help teach other young girls and young boys not to get pregnant, not to make babies, only for that show to be your ticket out of poverty and for you to be able to have the means to raise children. And just to look back and say, wow, like, this is just, it's a lot. It really, really is. So my heart goes out to both Caitlyn and Tyler in respect to that. Let's take a look at some of these messages, and it's going to be hard, you guys. It really, really is. It's a sad story. It really is. So Caitlyn kicked things off by posting this to her Instagram. Adoption is crazy. I'm blocked all because of me sending updates and pictures of her sisters. How is that fair for Carly and her siblings? It's sad for sure, but makes me sad for the kids. When you're a bio mom, you have no say, no control. All I can do is show Carly in the future how much I tried and continue to do so. She can make the decision herself to understand who shut who out. Listen, again, on the show, when Brandon and Teresa used to appear on the show, and, for those of you who are not aware, Brandon and Teresa are Carly's adoptive parents, like, they seem like a very happy, open couple, like, open to keeping the lines of communications awoken between them and Caitlyn and Tyler. Like, it kind of, like, in Caitlyn and Tyler's mind, sounded like it was going to be like a big revolving open door, like co-parenting with other people. Like, I don't think they expected at all for the door to be shut on them in this way. And I think that it's got to be very brutal for them. It's got to be very traumatic for them and very shocking for them, to go from being able to film 16 and Pregnant, and then episodes of Teen Mom 2, Teen Mom OG, Teen Mom, and stuff like that with this family. The parents going on to do magazine covers about these adoptions, like, it, to now having literally no relationship with them. Like, the whiplash that I can only imagine that they're experiencing is shocking. And I gotta say, before we even get into the rest of Kate's messages, I really got deep down into the rabbit hole of adoption on TikTok, like, years ago, a year or two ago, and just hearing it from the perspective of, like, children who grew up adopted, right? Like, or like bio parents and stuff. Like, it really opened up my eyes to a lot of things, and how sad it is, most notably that the system is set up in a way that instead of supporting people who want to be parents, right, to their kids and stuff like that, and that was Caitlyn and Tyler. They wanted to raise this kid. They just did not have the means. They did not have the money. Right? They did not have a stable household. And instead of equipping them with those things, which we see now that they have money and that they have a stable house to call home and everything like that, that they are able to parent not one, but two, 3 kids, right? That's all they needed for Carly. And the system, instead of helping them to land on their feet, what do? They set it up so that the best option for them is to give up their child. And that is a very, very, very difficult decision to make for parents like this, that they never come to terms with. Of course, there are people who adopt out their children for other reasons, but I think that parents like this, where they would totally raise their children if they had the means, it makes me sad that there's no system in place to help them get to that place. But I digress. So let's get into the messages that were shared on her page. So she's showing herself sending a video of Tyler fixing up the children's playroom to Teresa with a text that says, "Thinking of Carly, please let her know that we miss and love her. Also, her sisters miss her. They ask about her all the time. Here's some Raya belly laughs. I know Carly would love to hear them. You can't help but smile and laugh along." And then she shared that she was literally ignored for months and then blocked. Hurts my heart for all the kids involved. The next thing that she shared was a message on the 1st of July. Shout out to my Canadians, Canada Day. "Hope Carly loved her purse and wallet. One of my favorite brands. Also keep me updated on when y'all would like to talk." So obviously they sent a gift to Carly. I guess it was Carly's birthday around that time. And, they just wanted to like send a little message to say, hey, I hope that she liked the gift. To me, that seems innocuous enough, right? So I am rather surprised that went unanswered. But I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe there's some context missing here. Maybe there were some things that went down prior that caused Teresa to be so cold to Caitlyn. If I'm remembering correctly, and I, again, right now I'm just super all over the place in my mind, but I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but Tyler recently made some comments about the adoption that might have caused Teresa to kind of, be on the guard. I could be wrong though. And then the next thing that she shared was another series of messages at the end of the month saying that we're out in California visiting family and Tyler's grandma. It's beyond hot here. Hope you're having an amazing summer. Love you and hope to talk to you soon, which is very interesting because initially in the prior messages, she's talking to Teresa about Carly, like, hey, I hope Carly liked this. Carly would love this laugh. Carly, I hope Carly liked her purse, and now it's like, okay, well, she's ignoring me, in regards to sending these messages along to Carly. So why don't I send these messages directly as if I'm speaking to Carly directly? That was an interesting shift in tone there. And then she followed up on the 22nd of July by sharing some photos of her family at the park. Again, addressing Carly directly, even though this was supposed to be a text exchange with Teresa, saying, hey, Carly, we are sure missing you. We had a blast yesterday at a lake park with the kids. It was 102 degrees out. We love you. Then the next one is the family on a boat. Hey, Carly, we did a boat day. And mind you, this is creeping up into August because the one after this is August 4th. We did a boat day the other day. The water and views were amazing. Your sisters had a blast swimming and jumping off the boat. It's been great seeing family here and getting to enjoy some hot weather. Miss ya and love ya. So at this point, you do kind of start to wonder, like, okay, well, why does it feel like... Did you guys ever see that movie, like The Green Book, how the guy just like is writing about what he's doing every day in a letter to somebody? I forget who the person was and everything like that. I watched it back in 2018, but that's the vibe I'm getting here. It's very like, or like a tweet or something like that, or a diary entry. It's not like an exchange sort of a vibe. It's like, hey, postcard from here, a postcard from there. So maybe like there's a little bit of that finesse kind of missing where you ask how Carly's doing, how she's developing, like, that sort of thing. It feels more like, hey, here's all the information about us and how we're doing and this, that, and the other. But there's nothing really, with the exception of, did she like the purse, that we sent over about Carly specifically being asked there, which, perhaps could be something that like, was bothersome to Teresa. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Next, we get a message saying, hey, Carly, we got back home from our trip to California. It was good seeing family, but man, I'm happy to be home. Now we're just getting back into our routine. Nova's cheer starts back up in a few more days, and Veda is going to start gymnastics. I think she will love it because that kid climbs all the time and has such upper body strength. Also, Tyler started to teach her how to swim this year. She has no fear, but it scares me. We miss you and love you. Hope you're having the best summer and can't wait to see you all again soon one day. Then on the August 7th, she shared a photo of Nova looking into an aquarium. So again, you're not really getting the, hey, Carly, like, how is your summer going? Like, are you learning anything new? Like, are you still keeping up with your friends from school? Are you excited for the school year? There's not really anything of that going on. It's mainly, this is what we're up to, our family, this, that, and the other. Then next we see another series of photos and videos, and it says, hey, Carly, hope you're doing well and school is doing good. So that's the thing. There's a difference between I hope you're doing well and school is doing good, which to me is very passive. It's how I speak to people that I don't really know that well, but like, I'm trying to exchange pleasantries before I get to the meat of why I'm messaging them, like a colleague or this or that, right? But I feel like if it's a familial relationship where like, you want to continue to build on that with your daughter or whatever, or your sister, mother, brother, whatever. It's, hey, how are you? Like, is school going okay? Like, just questions, like actively asking these kinds of questions rather than in that passive voice. We had our last camping trip for the summer, getting cold here in Michigan now. The kids had a blast. We love and miss you. Nova loved feeding the seagulls. Veda and Raya picked the biggest lollipop I have ever seen, And I'm not saying this to critique Caitlyn's communication style. I'm just saying that, like, you know, from an outside perspective, these are the things that I feel are kind of missing in the messages that she's sending to Carly, right? But at the same time, I feel like maybe that's her way of not crossing certain boundaries, right? Of like keeping things like kind of like, I don't know, you know, I really don't know what boundaries they set in place. And I feel like maybe this is her way of honoring them in a way of just like, you know, maybe Brandon and Teresa told them, hey, send updates and stuff like that, and we'll pass them along to Carly. And then for like the real, like, you know, emotional conversations, like, you know, about how she's doing emotionally, how she's this, her friends, this, that, and the other, that is to be done in our presence, like on the phone or in person or something like that. There are a lot of possibilities about the guidelines or the outlines in which, or like the framework within which they're allowed or able to communicate with Carly, right? So then after sharing all of this evidence of her trying to get in touch and with Carly and stuff like that before getting blocked, she shared some more info. I gave them one of my biggest gifts ever, a child I grew and loved so deeply. I will not let them take my voice. I post so that hopefully Carly will see it and see I have always tried. To know I mean nothing to the adoptive parents, but just a womb to give a child hearts my heart. Oof. That message hurt my heart for you too, Kate. Like that is really, really like, you know, deep, devastating, you know, conclusion to come to. And, you know, I really feel sorry that is what she's going through. Like this is a true devastation, a true heartbreak that she's going through, you know? And it just like calls me back to this photo of just like, look, she didn't even want to see Carly when she was born because she didn't want to get attached to her and everything like that, and knowing that she was going to be going away with another family. Right. And in Teresa's hand, I think she had a necklace or a bracelet or something like that for Caitlyn, just to say the door is always open and they were just going to like stay, you know, connected as a family. Or correct me if I'm wrong, if Kate did the reverse. And so just to go from that to this, now feeling like we were just used as a womb for, you know, for these people to have a kid that they were not capable of having on their own, or able to have on their own. That is rather devastating. That is rather shocking. And that is rather heartbreaking. Right. And honestly, I really, truly feel for Caitlyn. And again, this reminds me of the stuff that, like, you know, adopted children or, you know, parents who place their kids up for adoption have been advocating for, which is systems to help people be able to raise their own children. At the end of the day, adoption is great in a lot of contexts, but in a lot of other contexts, like, you know, like it would be great to give people the capacity and the resources, you know, and set them up to be able to raise their own children to avoid this sort of trauma, right? I don't know what Carly is going through right now. I don't know if she's feeling complicated emotions about her adoption, especially with it being so public, right? Like from the show and now social media. I'm sure she and her friends are on social media because that is a running theme within the Teen Mom world right now, that the kids of OGs and Teen Mom 2s are now on social media. So like it might have a lot going on, you know? And so very devastating stuff. It really is. So let's continue. I'm a person with feelings. The children I'm parenting have feelings. Carly has feelings. A child being involved with extra people that only love and support them. How is that threatening? I'll never understand. The next one reads, at the end of the day, I think her parents feel scared or threatened because Carly would ask questions about why we don't get together more, why we can't just fly to her for a weekend, etc. I will always support Carly loving her parents. They love her and raised her. But the fact that they keep us distant and Carly's siblings distant does not help Carly. Anyone would know that if they were adoptee informed. I love how people say that I'm putting them on blast when I'm literally just sharing my own feelings, not calling them any hurtful names or anything. As bio parents, we are taught to just take what's given to us and that we should feel lucky. But if anything goes wrong, we need to shut up and be quiet. Okay, I'm done for today. Woo! My girl is going through it. She really is. This story is just absolutely breaking my heart for Caitlyn. And, it's breaking my heart for Brandon and Teresa as well, right? Like they've adopted not only Carly, but a son as well. And Carly was their first adopted child. And so they're going through this for the first time, just like Caitlyn and Tyler are going through this for the first time. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's a lot that's not being said in these rants. I feel like something happened for that door to be closed. It seems like we kind of saw that gradually happening throughout the show in certain instances. Like, for example, there was a season in which Kate and Tyler, or more specifically Tyler, was kind of complaining that Brandon and Teresa did not want them to talk about Carly on the show. They did not want them to have her image on social media or anything like that. And then Tyler basically said, like, you know, like, they can kick rocks. That's his child. He'll do whatever he wants, even if it's at the expense of being able to see her. You know, I feel like he said that in a burst of anger, but that is something that he did say on the show, right? And so I feel like that kind of like helped really nosedive things that were already going on in a negative direction. And I have a feeling that something else went down like earlier this summer or a couple months ago that led to all of this. And, you know, it really, really is sad. And I hope that Kate, Tyler, Brandon, and Teresa can all come to some sort of a resolution in order to help bridge the gap between both families. You know, like, this was meant to be an open adoption. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so, yeah, of course, like, if you put your child up for adoption and you select this family and like there were promises made that like the door would be your daughter grow up from a distance, have certain visitations and everything like that, like to have that door shut in your face and to be full-blown blocked. Oh, I couldn't imagine. I really couldn't, you guys. You know, I've been seeing a lot of critiques about Kate, you know, for posting this online, and like, I get those critiques, but at the same time, like, even though it's not the greatest idea to post it online, I understand that like in her devastation and in her kind of like shock, she's not thinking the way that she normally would think, and that's led to this. And like, you know, in one of her messages, she said that she's putting this out there so that Carly knows that she didn't just stop communicating. Like, she didn't just disappear. Like, she's been trying and trying and trying and not getting any response from Carly's parents, you know? And so maybe that's like another thing there, right? Like, I just want her to know that like she's got another family out there, her birth family, that loves her, has been trying to stay in touch with her. And so like, you know, now that it's online and it's been shared and reposted and this, that, and the other, like, it's been immortalized that, you know, Carly will always know that her parents were trying. But again, I feel like there's something happening behind the scenes that we are not being privy to in this screenshot share that, you know, it would be nice to know what really, really happened that caused the ultimate breakdown of this relationship. Brandon and Teresa also showed up and brought Carly to Caitlyn and Tyler's wedding, right? Like, Tyler and Carly had a dance together at the wedding and everything. Like, I feel like that doesn't just disappear for no reason. And, you know, although it's none of our business, it would be interesting now that we've been entered into the group chat. Literally, it would be interesting to know what the actual reasoning is for what happened. And if Brandon and Teresa would be willing to go ahead and get some outside help to bridge that gap between them, Caitlyn and Tyler. Honestly, this story is really, really sad. My heart breaks for everybody involved. You know, Caitlyn, Tyler, Brandon, Teresa, Carly, you know, Veda, Nova, Raya, everybody. Really, really hard stuff. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about all this, okay? And as usual, we will chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.